Good day, everyone, and welcome. Before we start, we have a disclosure. Please be aware of risk in the future trading. All our videos for educational purpose only. You're very welcome to follow any of our automated signal. As long as you are on the sim, we're not responsible for your trades, and we're not your financial advisor. Whatever you do, it is at your own risk, and this is just strictly for educational purpose only. Before we start bringing down the auto trade, we need to cover what's going on the signal entry. At the moment, from the last entry, we have 668 ticks based on one contract. That is a total 5,822. For the ones they cannot afford to trade all of it, they don't have to. They can trade the ES. The ES made 29 ticks on the last entry signal. It's 362. The Nasdaq made 403 based on one contract, 2,000, and you can trade the YM. It is just enter the entry price. So you can trade Nasdaq, Dow Jones, ES, or one of the instruments, whatever you can afford, but still have to learn a little bit about the market before you start auto trading. At the moment, the ES is down, the DAX is down, and we're gonna bring some of the auto trades down. There is only short all the way. Today is a Friday. We are going to the 45.10. This is the first step on the short side, and then we will see what happened on that. The Nasdaq is short, all the way short, all the way down to the 146.73, and we will see what happened. So the first test is going to be at 45.10 on the ES, 45.10 on the ES. So whether you are trading 1 minute, range, seconds, whatever you are trading, you know exactly where this market going on your auto trade. And if you are using a smaller time frame, doesn't matter, as long as you keep your eye on the 1 minute to understand what's going on in the market. So at the moment there is a little pullback. Let me see what's going on. Okay, at 12 o'clock we have the FOMC, and that is not gonna help. But this is a low priority at 12 o'clock. So there we go. The market is turning a little bit back, but don't let it scare you. It's short. Okay, we closed that trade, and we're still on the short. We're not over. We just got bumped out of that trade, and you can see the auto trade start taking a short trade again. It's not gonna let it go. So let's look at the ES, what's going on. On the ES, we have, if this market go back up again, there is a re-entry at 45.23. On the Nasdaq, if the market go up again, it is a re-entry short. On the sim, we're not responsible for your trade. Is a re-entry short at 147.40. 147.40 is the re-entry position. So we don't have a long trade, and the market is going to drop. And I don't know, we will see when we get to this double support area, and we determine if we are going farther down or not. So it's a little bit, the market is trending down all morning, and we will see where we are heading with the ES. Yesterday, when we were done with the market here, the market start turning long yesterday, and it did a beautiful trend, then short, and then on the last hour was nothing to do. The market died out on the last hour yesterday. So one of the question is what time I should start the auto trade. As an example, yesterday The market at the beginning was okay and then went sideways, and then after 11 o'clock the market start picking up, and on the last hour the market died out on us. So from one day to another is different. It depends on the market movement, and you cannot just say what time I should start tomorrow. Really, it is uh, when we turn on the chart in the morning, we can see what's going on in the market. If the market trending, or should we wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you start auto trading? And that it is very important to do that. Maybe you need to delay taking a trade 5 minutes or 10 minutes later, because it could be the market is in one direction or is sitting on the side and it cannot find direction whether it's long or short. So it is really crucial to keep your eye in the morning to determine if we need to turn on the auto trade right now, or should we wait a little bit longer to take a trade. So it is very important to see the difference. Uh, the Nasdaq is going to be as a re-entry on 147. As a re-entry, you should not take a re-entry here. The Nasdaq is coming to the 147 level, and this is a re-entry. We're gonna close that trade. It's not gonna do any good. We had couple thousand, and now the market, we're gonna close it. And we should have closed it much earlier. Just be patient, please. Let's see. You see how the Nasdaq, this is the re-entry for the Nasdaq at 147. Now the Nasdaq is going down as expected. There we go. Perfect entry, and we need to see if this ES, for the ES will have a problem at this level 45.24. I'm not sure we can cross that, so we'll keep our eye on that as well. Here we go. We start going down as expected on the Nasdaq, and for the CL, there is not much going on right now on the CL. The market is very tight between 110, 110, and 110. There is very tight movement on the CL, so there is no movement on the CL at the moment. And we need to break that channel before we can take any trade on the CL. If we look, it's very tight. Here is the resistance at 110 and the support also on 110. There is only 44 ticks in between. So there is not much going on on the CL today. And there is a good movement on the ES and NASDAQ and YM. Somehow today the YM is going on the opposite direction. That's not good. We prefer for the YM to go on the same direction in sequence with the ES NASDAQ downshifts. So we will see what happened in the market. This is a re-entry, and we will. You can see there is not much going on, and we need to. I mean, these conditions here. This is back and forth. It's like you're doing tango dance, a couple of steps forward and backward. This is not really healthy to make money in. So we are watching, and as we see here, what we are expecting, the resistance is holding very well on the ES, and the NASDAQ, we said it's 47 is as a re-entry, and we're still on the 47 as a re-entry short. So the market is right now at this level where it's the resistance here and the support area here, and the same thing is on the ES. The 45.24 is a resistance level, and the support level is 45.16. Not much going on at the moment. We have a few trades here and there. Some are taken long, some are taken short, but it's not really something to get juice out of it. So we will wait a little bit to see. The YM is long all the way, and we have a couple position on the YM. If we look at the market analyzer, it says the YM long, and we are long on the YM. There is no problem with the YM, but also it is funny when the YM is long and the NASDAQ is short and the ES is short. So this is really not in sequence, and the market is not really finding a direction. The CL is very tight. The NASDAQ now started breaking those levels. It was a perfect spot where we spotted short, and it was a perfect spot where we spot the ES as a re-entry, and there we are going farther down right now on the NASDAQ and in ES. For the CL, we have long, but it's been on the same trade for a long time. A minute ago was 400, 700, and now it's flirting with the same numbers again, and there is nothing really can be done. And we'll see how this market what kind of decision we're gonna be making in the market. We called two trades that were good, and right now you see it's closed, and the way it closed here is not about your auto trade. It's about being tight between support and resistance. The performance is not about the auto trade. Sometimes the performance is Depends where's this market going. And we are under resistance and support, nothing we can do. A perfect entry on the Nasdaq, and we are now going all the way down to the 146 level. Whoever stayed on that trade, you can potentially get 146 on that trade. We pinpoint exactly where we need to re-enter, and seems like it's doing fine. And there we go, we're going down. And where you see my crosser, this is where you need to exit on the Nasdaq, the max, you know. So for the ES, there is a heavy support, 511, 509, and 508. So if we are in a short position, this is where most likely we're gonna end up today. So let's look at it and see what happened. The ES is a very long, very weak long. You gotta be careful, don't let those guys fool you. It is a very weak long, it's not strong long, so don't let it fool you. This bar on the ES is way too early for that. It's getting there, but it's not as strong as it's supposed to be. And we'll see. If any of our members trade in the ES, this is not going to last for a very long time. What you really need to do, you need to immediately break even on the signal auto trade, because it is a very dangerous trade long on the signal, and I'm not expecting this ES to go higher than where we are right now. So when you are auto trading the signal, you need to override the auto trade and break even immediately, because this is going to collapse very soon, and we don't want to be in it. So immediately you break even, and the YM is all the way long, whether you are using a precision auto trade or on the signal you are using the 15-second. The YM is going all the way long. The Nasdaq right now, I will not take long trade on the Nasdaq at the moment. Wait. Okay, It's finished. The Nasdaq, there is no long trade. Even I have my Nasdaq a long trade on the auto trade, but for manual trade you should not take a long trade on the Nasdaq at all. Not now, it's too early. To our members, if you are on a signal 15 second, you can see why you should not take a trade on the long, and you should immediately run for cover because I don't like this way, this ES and Nasdaq going on no. So what we do, we go and we break even immediately. I'm not sure it's gonna collapse again, and we will. So this way here, you don't lose money when you break even, override the auto trade. You're not gonna lose money in there. Once the Nasdaq break the 147.66 for a manual trading, it is perfect to trade, not below as a manual trader. As an auto trader, and you took that trade, you need to break even immediately because it's a dangerous game on the Nasdaq. And for the institutional auto trade is doing well. It's about to close those trades. So now the market momentum, if we see, it is all in positive here, and there is a lot of buying now start coming in. And if we look at the Nasdaq, we need to stay above that number 147.65, and this is where the genuine long happen, not when the auto trade, because if we look at the auto trade, it's 15 second is fine, but because of 15 second, the auto trade took an early trade. But you gotta keep watching this trade very carefully, because we need to confirm that the 147.65 is no longer resistant, it's become support. So the market has changed, and there is a pullback re-entry right now, and I'm expecting the pullback re-entry is going to be at 45.25. This is where's the pullback re-entry. Whatever you do, you should be on the sim. We're not responsible for your trade. We're not your financial advisor either. As you see, that's why we said when you are trading the signal, you have to run for cover immediately. And if we look at this Nasdaq, the Nasdaq fell exactly where we expected, and that's why the Nasdaq projected from that area here. So that's why we broke even, because we know this market was going back and a collapse. So now we keep our eye to see if this ES are willing to go higher. Today the movement all in on the YM is amazing. Yesterday was the CL, today was the YM. The ES is doing well, and we'll wait. For the guys are not on the ES, there is two entries actually, a pullback re-entry. There is one right there at 45.27, and your best option also 45.25. Re-entry long is very good. On a sim, please, we're not responsible for your trade. This is one entry and another re-entry right there. So you have two potential re-entry, 45.27 and 45.25. So there is two potential re-entry on the ES. For the Nasdaq, you know, it's very, the Nasdaq is really, right now, the Nasdaq is not, if we look at this Nasdaq, it's not really pretty picture. Resistance level here, support, and it's very tight, and it's untradable at the moment. The Nasdaq again is untradable. The Nasdaq, the ES is better. The ES now the CL start going short, but at the moment the Nasdaq, with all the respect, it's not into your favor if you are auto trading. The CL is short. It's going very well to the short side, and closed one trade, and we can close. Probably we will be closing the second and the third. If we notice on the ES, this is what we predicted as a re-entry. So if you want to go in on two contract, what you do, you put one here and one here. The CL is already hit the daily target 1000, but it's not gonna close because it's going to your favor. So probably it's going to close either on the trailing stop or the target. So we still have one trade, has $500 on the CL. For the Nasdaq, the performance on the Nasdaq today is very bad. Whether you are a manual or an auto trade, has nothing to do with your auto trade. It doesn't matter if this auto trade from us or somebody else. The Nasdaq is a bad performance today, and the way the chart it looks, it does not look good for trending. So right now, your best offer either ES, YM, or CL. So those three, and you need to skip the Nasdaq today. It's a very tight and a very high risk on Nasdaq trading today. And if we look on the Nasdaq, this is a very nasty place where you cannot determine if it's long or short. So you have to sit on, for the Nasdaq traders, no matter what you do right now, no matter what you do, you're gonna lose. Even if you win a trade, does not mean you got away with it. You know, you take the second trade and you're gonna lose. So this is part of the trading, guys. There is, you cannot say tomorrow I'm gonna turn on the ES at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. It depends on the market movement. It's not up to us. We cannot move the market for you. And what I see here at the moment, we have confirmed the support area on the ES at 45.27, and I don't know where's my watch, my clock, but right now it's at 10:33. So there is a good potential to, once we hit that target, we are done today. Once we hit that target today, we are done today for 12 o'clock. We are done for 12 o'clock. So there is a good potential to climb to the 45, 43.50, and that will be it for 12 o'clock today. So we'll see what happened. And now we have also, we got it right on the pullback re-entry. So this is the third call we called today for as a re-entry, and they were all right on the spot. And now the market momentum start getting stronger, and now there is a good potential to climb to the 45.43. Once we climb the 45.43, this is where the institutional target one, it says on it, and this is where profit taking will be taken on 45.43.75. This is an institutional number, and this is where people, especially Friday, they're gonna start taking a profit on target one, and those numbers are institutional, so you cannot mess with those numbers. Okay, so we still have 3 trades on the ES, and we're about to hit and close one more on the ES, and it did close all of it. Okay, it did close all of it at 3,187, and this is very good. The CL is going further down. The CL can go potentially to, we are coming to the dead end at 108. 108 we are at the moment. You can take a profit on 108. And for the ES, it's gonna have a little problem at 45.39, a little bit, and then we're gonna close position at 54.44. This is where a profit taken from the institutionals. So this way, if you are on a trade or auto trading or any kind of trade with the ES, you need to immediately, if you are trading any of our auto trades, and once you see it hitting that area, any kind of auto trade, if you see it heading the 45.44, those are a little bit below 45.44. I'm gonna put it on 45.37, and that should do it, because nothing is gonna happen after that. So we'll see how this market gonna turn around. So the market is very strong at the moment to the long. You can see it from the momentum here. The pressure in the market is going very well, and we are going on the ES. We're gonna climb to those numbers, and right now it is 10:37. So most likely we achieve that by 11 o'clock. Also, timing is crucial. you can see the momentum on the market here on the left corner, and the market is climbing a bit slowly, but most likely by 11 o'clock we should be hitting target 45.4375. And that's where I have the target on the auto trade. This is where I have the target on the auto trade. If the ones has skipped that trade on the ES, please do not take a trade in the middle of a trend. This is a no-no. You do not even let your auto trade take in a trade middle of it. This is a really very important not to do that. Please don't do that, because if you are taking a trade right here, right now, there is nothing will hold you or support your position, and this is a very bad trade. And so it is not up to us where we take the trade, is where the market condition is. So what we need to find out something to lean on with a support or a resistance before we can initiate a trade. So if you are out of the position on the ES right now, the only option is to re-enter the market somewhere around 45.26. You cannot take a trade right there because there is nothing to lean on. When you are taking that trade here, there is and you hide your trailing stop behind that, so you are protected. If you are taking the trade here, you're not protected. It's like putting $300 on the floor in the supermarket and protected. So here, if you want to take a trade, it's very unprotected, 100%. So it is very important where we need to enter. If you miss that trade and you put a limited order here, right now 45.26, and it didn't happen, you will survive for the next trade. It's better than to jump in this market right now and be unprotected. You are taking much higher risk than what you need to, and you're exposing yourself with no protection with your money. This can be very costly. On a $200 a day, that's $50,000 a year. This is very costly, ignoring what the market is telling you. After we were done with the CL short, and now the CL long is going up again. For the CL traders using the signals, there is a resistance here. There is two options. There is a resistance at 110. That's very fine. But what we can do, we can go ahead and increase the target and override the auto trade to the 111.41. 111.41. If this market able to cross this 110, that will be very good to trade. Where some traders, what you can do on that trade, some traders only dream to make it in 1 week. So we're making a bet on the CL to cross the 100 ton, and then what you do, you go down here and then you break even. So now you are on a free flight, you're not free trade, and you're no longer costing you money. And we need to keep our eye on the ES. So this is something that's like gambling on that trade. It's like you're either gonna have a winning card today and you're gonna walk away with tons of money, or if this market goes back, you're gonna walk away with one take profit. That's it. So sometimes if you are desperate, which for me, I don't like those $200 trades. I don't like this $100 trade, because what I wanted is the sooner we achieve that trade, the better. So we don't have to go back and take a risk again. So I prefer to walk away with one take, Or right now, if this market going, if you are happy with $700, take it, but don't trade again. Don't trade again. Don't trade again. Walk away, run away. So right now, there's the CL on the signal entry, auto trade. It is sitting in between, and it is, you either walk away with this amount, or if you want to, you can stay and then you walk away with the real money. So this is up to the trader. We have override the auto trade because the auto trade target is 110.76, and now the market is going, and this is the difference between an educated person or an uneducated person. So now if we go back, I want to keep my eye on the ES, because I estimated the ES is going to be before around 11 o'clock, around 45, 43, 75. Oh, I finally find my clock. So right now, if we look at the timing, it's 10:43. We have a reversal signal on the ES, and that it is a given warning there is fatigue in the trend. But then if we look at the pressure in the market, at the momentum, we can see there is a good potential to hit this target one. And what we are looking at is a pullback, a little minor pullback. I'm not worried about this pullback, but we will keep our eye on it to see what's going on. For the ones that are out of that trade with the ES, I'm sorry to say that you have to be patient, and your re-entry right now got readjusted to the 45.28. This is the only place you can re-enter long on the ES, but you cannot enter the ES here. Is a entering the ES long on that section here is gonna it is, your risk is 9 out of 10. If you take the re-entry here, your risk is 2 out of 10. So there is a big difference in the risk reward when you are trading. So, and there we go. If we notice how we gambled with the CL, we either had an option to take the $750, walk away, or we have an option to double up, and we did double up because once the CL crossed that number, we are already in much higher profit than what we do. If you are happy with a couple $1,000, take it and run. If you still want to go and aim it to the 111.41, then stay on the boat, and let's see if we are able. Two options here. If this market claps, we're still gonna walk away with around $1,000. If this market hit my target 111, we can potentially walk away with $2,500. One trade on the signal. If you know how to go around with the signal and keep your eye on the blue chart, what you can do on one trade, there is a bunch of amateur traders, they cannot achieve that in 1 week. In 1 week, they dream of achieving that kind of money in 1 week, and they cannot even achieve it in 1 week. Why? Because they are uneducated. They're just auto trading, and this is the difference. You can increase your profit when you know what you're doing by 2 times and 3 times and 4 times. If you notice here, the CL came into the fib line and now is rejecting from the fib line, and your trailing stop is right there. Your trailing stop is right at the fib line and is fighting to the last second on the trailing stop, and that is accuracy. That it is an art of trading. This is what something that people don't have the knowledge to understand about those trailing stop, how effective they are. And if this market go below this trailing stop, that means there is nothing to cry over. We took one of the trade, and we still have a major support area at the 110.54. So we closed the minor, which we took $600 out of it, but we still have one trade, and it could be a runner, and we will see. And if this market, this trade is going to make us more money than the first trade on the CL. For the ES, as you notice here on the ES, the reversal fired, and we are getting, when you get the reversal, that's mean the sign of fatigue on that trade, but doesn't matter. We can always measure the pressure, the momentum in the market, which we still have much more beef to go further higher than what we are now. If this ES breakdown is going down to the re-entry point at the moment is 53.30. 53.30. It is the re-entry for the ES. And if you want to do that, you have to be on SIM. You're not paying us to be responsible for you, and we're not your financial advisor either. So whatever you do it on the SIM, and we're not responsible for your trades. So at the moment, we are looking at the, okay, we are done with the CL. We took our chances on the CL, and we go back to the ES to see what's going on. And the CL on the Autotrade, Precision Autotrade, it was done, and it is 1440, and we will take it back. Then we will on the YM, we still have one trade on the YM, and it's closing. And then on the ES 4 minutes, hit the 3,187. It is finished, and we still have the Precision Auto Trade. The trailing stop is right there, is okay. You're gonna walk a little bit less than 1,000 on that, and the YM is doing well. We still have one more trade, and on the Precision Auto Trade have a 2,300. So finally you can see how the market, when it gets together, we take advantage of it, and then when the market is finished, it's finished. So right now the ES is going down to the 45.30, and this is the re-entry point on 45.30 long on a SIM. And we're not into the short position. Actually, at the moment, the ES has no short position. You should not be taking short on the ES, even if you have an auto trade, even if it's not from us. Try to direct your auto trade to take long trades only, because there is no short. Again, there is no short on the ES at all. Right now, if this market sink in a little bit more, we are going to be re-entering the market at 45.30, and this is the re-entry point. If we look below the 45.30, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 support area with the floor and fibs confirming those, and that is a no-no. That means there is no short trade, because we don't know which one is going to reject. However, if this market really broke the 45.30, it's gonna get stuck on the 45.25. So please, this is gambling here. Whether you are auto trading or manual trading is irrelevant to the market movement. So we don't want it to go below the 45.30. As long as this market above the 45.30, we are thinking long, long, long only. If the market goes below the 45.30, that means push the emergency brake, stop trading immediately, because now you are in trouble. I mean, if somebody call me or ask me, don't you have auto trade, Ken? I mean, do I have to? Yes, you do have to. Yes. You cannot, gentlemen, this is not This is not a wash machine you turn on at 9 o'clock. By 12 o'clock you come back, you find out your dollars are dry and ironed and ready for you to use. I mean, and the trading, you have to be a little bit smarter than that, you know, to think is a wash machine. So auto trading, if you cannot do that, that means you're in the wrong business. You should not be investing any money in the market, because there is nothing called wash machine here or coffee machine. You know, you push the button, then the coffee comes from the other side. This does not exist, you know, not in our lifetime anyway. So right now we are on a good re-entry, but if this market not holding the 45.30, you need to push the emergency and you need to stop trading all of it. All of it. NASDAQ, Dow Jones, everything shut down. There is nothing to do anymore. And this is really, really important for this ES. And by knowing the ES is gonna be here on the support area, if any of our traders taking the NASDAQ, you know when you are taking the NASDAQ, this one here, it is two things here on the NASDAQ trade. If you are using I'm gonna leave it as is. If this ES stays above that level, which we have predicted, walk away with $750. You need to close it and run. If this ES break this 45.30, that means you're not on $800 trade. It can be potentially going up to $2,000 on that trade. It's all right now the performance on the NASDAQ, if this ES breaking the 45.30 or not. Has nothing to do with your auto trade performance. It is about the market movement. And if we keep our eye on this is a big example. If this market stays above the 45.30, this is your money on the NASDAQ. If this ES go below that, as we expect it is going to the 45.27 and the 45.25, that means there is an additional $500 on that trade. So if we look at this NASDAQ, how much money you have right now, and if we look at the ES, your NASDAQ performance has nothing to do with your auto trade. Your NASDAQ money at the moment hanging on the 45.30 ES has nothing to do with the performance of an auto trade. It's to do with levels. It's to do with the market movement. And sadly, people cannot recognize your profit is based on what's going on in the market. Sadly, if he cannot comprehend that, he should not be trading in the market. He should not be going live. He should be sitting and trying to learn a little bit about the market, because what you are looking at the PNL on the NASDAQ, it is not the performance, it's not the optimization, it is what the ES is doing. If the ES break the 45.30, you're gonna have a very good performance. The NASDAQ can be potentially making $2,000 on that trade. If the ES holding the 45.90, you're gonna walk away with the NASDAQ with just one big piece of banana and nothing in your pocket to claim on that trade. So what we have done right now, we have broke even plus couple takes. You were on the profit around 1,500. Has nothing to do with the NASDAQ, neither the NASDAQ auto trade. What really we called that trade here, and this is the 5th trade today we called, and it is a winning trade. And if you notice, now the ES, because we spot that one here, your NASDAQ profit starts shrinking here. However, you can rely on that number 1 time, 2 times, but you cannot keep relying on that number all night. because what we have seen here right now, the ES has tried to penetrate that number 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. It could be on the 4th time able to break it. The first time is always the market can predict it for you. So if we notice here, the market came in on the ES 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. So right now, the defense number, the 45.30, is getting weaker. You know, so it is desperately we need to hold on above that number, and the ES is pounded on that number trying to break it. By breaking that, the Nasdaq can be potentially $2,000 on that trade. By going up, this Nasdaq you can close with just a couple $100. Has nothing to do with your auto trade performance knowledge. When somebody is knowing what's going on, and let's say if you have, as we called it for you, as a re-entry point at 45.30 on the ES. Let's say this trader listened to me and took a trade on a sim on that number, okay? And he have the Nasdaq trade as well. He's sitting and enjoying himself, and he don't care. If the ES go up, he will be making money on the ES, and if the ES not holding, he will lose that trade, but he will be laughing because he will be making money on the other one. So the trading is art. When we used to trade a stock, like when we go long on Intel, at the same time, I mean, there is a lot of people don't know how to. I mean, if you have $5,000 and you want to buy stocks on Intel, you don't buy $5,000 stocks on Intel. You buy, if the market is low, you can buy $3,000 on Intel, and then you can short on AMD, because if the market, when the market drops, the AMD goes much faster down than the Intel. When the market goes long, the Intel goes faster than the AMD. So what I'm saying is, when you know the art of trading, I don't, what I'm saying, not putting you in the room for 10 years trying to teach you, alpha waves or not all this nonsense. No. But what I'm saying is, once you understand the rhythm of the market, you can work on the market to your advantage. So you can see what happened here. The ES tried to break 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and kept pounding on that number. It's like you try, like the old days, when you try to pound on that door, it gets weaker. And then what you see here on the ES pounding on that number until he broke it. But when he broke it, even if we have a trade, you already, as we said, we claimed we will get $2,000 on the Nasdaq. So by losing a small trade in here and make it up on the Nasdaq, 2,000, that will be a happy camper, and it is very good. If the ES stayed on that level and kept going up, you would have made at least $1,500 on that trade, plus the profit you made on the Nasdaq. So when you know what you are doing, you can always, even in the market, in a hard area, you still can figure out how to support one trade by another chart, and you can hedge the market. When you're trying to hedge the market, your chances of losing is much less than putting all your eggs in one basket. If I have money to buy 2 E-mini ES, I probably will go with 1 E-mini, and what I will do, I will hedge against the ES with a CL. Because this way, if one of them didn't work, like what we have done this here right now, hedging the ES against the NASDAQ. Either direction, we could have made money. So when the NASDAQ and the ES dropped below that number, we made 2,000. And now when the ES going up, we can nail it again. And look where the ES has come in. If you go back to the video, this is where we said as our secondary entry. So we're not done. This is the secondary entry. And this is also, we have predicted, if you go back to the video, and this one here, the market came in 1 time, 2 times, and this is a re-entry. And if you don't want to re-enter the market on a sim, then leave it alone, because there is nothing left. It's right now 11 o'clock and there is nothing left in the trade. Another system you can hedge against the ES is the gold. If you take the gold will always work the opposite direction of the ES. So when the ES is going down, your gold going up. So we can hedge against each other by, let's say, if you wanted to take long, because your gold is long right now, let's say if you take a long on the trade on the ES and the ES goes down, that push the gold up. So you're not losing money on this ES losing trade. If the ES goes up, your gold goes down, so you can also be smart with it. Gentlemen, we cannot turn off our brain about trading. Trading is an art. Trading is like a library book. You know, you can approach it. You can approach the market in a million different ways. And you don't need to copy somebody's trade. You don't need to copy somebody's theory, because if you try to develop your own style, your own with a little knowledge, try to develop your own knowledge with a little help, that will be really great. That really will help you. And now if you notice here, when we are trying to hedge between those two, you can see the gold or the 30-year treasury. Let me see if there is a 30-year treasury bond somewhere. If you are, the 30-year treasury bond I have is already closed. I don't have any opening position on 30-year treasury bond. Lately, the 30-year treasury bond is doing very well, and but mine is just closed, and it is 1 trade, 2 trade on a 30-year treasury bond is done. So if you don't like the gold, you can also use the 30-year treasury bond by going, you know, you can spot the ES by also looking at the treasury bond, which direction the treasury bond is. That can give you very good direction on the ES. Also, if you are trading the DAX, look at the ES. Can give you millisecond before any other trader. So don't underestimate the ES on that. So you can always hedge against another instrument. That will be brilliant. So folks, that's all what we have for you today. I wish you a very safe weekend, and we wish you the best, and thank you very much, and we hope you will have a safe, lovely weekend for you and your family. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Bye for now.